So actually your girth's uneven too, which is partly, no. Foot in your stirrup. Safety says you should have your reins bridged, right? So if she bolts, you can just go, nope. Okay, you're gonna put your leg forward, and then you're gonna tighten your girth. Okay, so see how you're on 2 and 3? So why don't you go to 4 and 4? Good, and then when you do it, keep your index finger close to the buckle, and then you use your index finger to get the knobbin in. So you just need your hand the other way. Hang on. You don't need to see it, you need to feel it. So you're gonna have your hand this way with your index finger on the buckle. This one.
One more?
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Quickest, safest way to tighten your girth, okay? We want to make sure this middle one is not trapped. Okay. Good. Now, have you just been growing this much, or are these not your half straps?
Yeah, they've been tighter.
Huh.
Yeah, they're getting smaller.
We should look back at the videos from the summer and see how high up his legs these are.
He's growing.
That's quite a ways. Wow. All right. Okay, so before we start jumping, I just want to see your gears a little more in the canter and in the trot, right? That she goes forward and comes back, right? And we're looking for the length of her body. Can she expand and contract? Okay, so start on the left rein. You're going to start in trot, and I want you to do a shortened trot on the short side, so you can do that sitting for maximum control. And then you're going to press forward, go rising trot, and lengthen down the long side. Good. Ready, and press forward, lengthen trot. Reaction, go. Okay, so on that next short side, we need the sitting trot shorten. Actually, just come in for a sec. Sorry, I'm just distracted here. I'm just thinking how much she looks tucked up today, and I just want to check that she's not dehydrated. So what I mean by tucked up is I can see the line of her ribs, and she looks like her belly is hiked up, like a greyhound. So pinch test, perfect, okay? So if she was dehydrated, when I did that, there would be a ridge of skin like this that would stay upright for about 3 seconds or even longer, and hers just snapped back. So that's perfect, okay? That makes me feel better. I might need to feed her more. Oh, her weight feels good. She's just looking a little more tucked up than I'm used to seeing her. Okay, sorry, let's get going again. So again, sitting trot shorten on the short side, okay? Both short sides. Okay, off you go. Okay, and you need a stick too by the looks of it. Is there one on the wall there? Good. Okay, so that's your backup system, right? The calf muscle is the primary go forward message, right? If that doesn't work, the heels dig in, and you quickly go to your stick if that's not enough, right? So it's that quick progression of asking her, telling her if she didn't go when you asked, and then making sure you get it done, demanding if she didn't listen to the tell. So ask, tell, demand. Lengthen. Right now, go to your stick. Check your posting diagonal, Leo. So I want to see more collection and more extension, okay? So we're shortening the steps now. Good. Now power from the lower leg and lengthen the steps. There we go. Good. Stroke her neck. Now keep the big trot to the end of the ring. Big trot, power. And half halt, sit in. Keep your hands carried shorter than that. shorter than that. So we're going to either end of the spectrum, right? We're going short and long, short and long. So we don't want to see her regular trot. We want to see one gear up and one gear down. That's it. Which way is she looking? Take a little circle there, stay sitting. Make sure she's looking to the inside because she was looking to the outside on the short side. Press, press, press off the inside leg. And lengthen. That's right, okay? Good. Now it took her about 4 or 5 steps to kind of get into gear there. But then when she was in it, she was in it. Now prepare short, really short. I want to see that happen quicker, Leo. There, okay? So get that trot earlier. Keep posting, press, press. Big step. Still have a little feel of her mouth, right? You're just allowing enough that she can go, but you don't want to give away your contact. All the way back. Good. Okay, half circle reverse. Looking up. On the long wall, lengthen. Okay, and drop your stirrups. Lengthen and sit, shorten. Good, okay, I'm seeing a better shift back now. Big trot, and fix your posting diagonal. Good. Good, and right back. Look up, bend your elbows. Right, as you're bending your elbows, you're firming your abs, you're sitting deep. Good correction, awesome. Take your stirrups back. Good, 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 awesome. You're right there, good. Lengthen, check your diagonal immediately. Good, and this time you're gonna pick up your canter in the corner, and we're gonna do the same drill with the shortened canter on the short side and the lengthened canter on the long side. Now we've got the added challenge of the canter pull. So this canter is too regular, Leo. Start to shorten now, sit in with leg, with leg, with leg, wait, and lengthen. 1, 2, 1, 2. Good, keep lengthening. Good, think about your lead change as you bring her back. And circle and get the lead.
Are we good? Am I good to go?
You are good. Yeah, you're good. Circle again, shorten her canter, right? Because we haven't had a shortened one yet. Shorten the canter up. Better. Good, Leo. One more circle just for timing. Deep to the corner. Keep the canter patient, and then a big lengthen. Just watch how David, he's going to come down the wall, and then you can go. Excellent. Now change of position. Bringing her back. Short, 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 short. Good, Leo. Circle there. That's okay. Circle where you are. Now we've got the added challenge of the lead. And whoa, 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 we've got nowhere to go here. So anytime you circle, you need to know where your circle is going before you turn, right? So I'm going to add one more piece for you to think about. When you're bringing her back into your shorten, I want you at the same time to start to think about working the bend. Okay, so around the right leg, working the inside rein just enough that she does this. Okay, so the leg is really getting the ribs, that's the key. But if you can just get her to just look to the inside as well, that's like the finishing touch. touch, right? It makes sure that her head is staying in the middle of her chest through the turn. Okay. And on the length, and if she switches her lead, we're not going to worry about it on the straight line, but as you set up for your corner, bringing her back, you can ask for the lead change into the turn. Good. Now start to sit up, start to wait, and lead change. Outside leg, circle. Good. Open your inside rein, half up the outside. Good. Shorten the canter, Leo. This is your shortened canter piece. Good, nice. Okay, now sit in and shorten, and now look across the ring somewhere, and you're going to change direction with a simple change. So you're going to go back to trot, and left bend, and canter. Nice. Now show me your shortened side. Left bend. Good, and lengthen. Big steps. Nice. And back. Oh, left bend. Work your inside fingers. Good. And lengthen. Come on, nothing happened. Good. Get her back. Show the bend. And across the diagonal, simple change through trot. Turn left, Leo. Turn left. Yeah, we're going to do that again. When you do a simple change, I want you to enter the diagonal and canter, right? So you need to know exactly where you're going to put it. Start your diagonal and canter. And then it's just across the center that you use the trot to switch your lead. Good decision. Good. Now I want to see the right bend. Stretch up. There's a little better in the second corner. Good. She held her lead that time. Now stretch up and really show the bend now. Good, Leo. Good, Leo. Okay, and stretch up and walk. Good girl. Good. And you know, making it a habit of having the bend through the corner is so important, and that's going to help you when we're jumping courses, right? That's part of the rebalancing, is getting the horse around the new inside leg so that she comes out of the turn and it's easy for her to go straight, right? If she goes around her turn like this, she's going to be out of balance as she meets the straight line. Okay. I'm going to give her a walk break. Shane, I'm surprised with how warm her blankets are, that the last 2 lessons I've taught the boys, she's looked really cold when she started out. Like all her hair is, you know, they kind of spike it outwards. And then she's had her tail clamped under.
Yeah.
So usually that means they're cold, like chilled. I know, like she's got that toasty warm cooler, and the blanket's a midweight, right? That green one. It's not just a...
Yeah, no, it's insulated.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just not used to it.
Yeah.
No, she's never been shaved either, right? So that's...
Yeah.
Or the wind's coming.
Well, I think she's fine now. She's warmed up now.
Yeah, no, she's warmed up. Maybe, were you grooming her for quite a long time?
Not really.
5 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that shouldn't matter. I was thinking, you know, maybe you need to keep the cooler on while you're grooming. Okay. Okay. So Leo, we're going to start off the right, and you're going to trot into the big cross rail, land one stride, jump out, keep your canter rhythm all the way down to the little flower box, and then you're going to tell me how many strides you did from the second cross rail down to the flower box. So I want you now just to walk her over this flower box so that she's seen it once. There you go. Just walk over that. Yeah, did you look down at it? Uh-huh. Okay, come walk over it one more time without looking at it. Right, your job here is to have your hands wide, to have your body open, to be looking straight ahead, right? So she knows that you're not worried about the jump. Much better. Good. Perfect. And my ground line fell into place. Perfect. Okay, so now let's go ahead. You're trotting into that one stride in there between those two cross rails. Keep her attention. She might be looking at the boxes after. She's got to stay focused and stay straight. And you're landing and counting your strides to the flower box. Okay, so I like your determination. We'd like that to be a power leg, not a kicking leg. Right? The little girl who was riding before you, she doesn't have enough power in her legs, right? Like she's got to kick to wake that pony up because her legs are this long, right? But you've got good, long, strong legs, right? So you just shouldn't need to kick on her, and she's educated enough. She knows what a squeeze means. Now, how many strides did you do in there? Yeah, good. Awesome. Okay, so let's come again. See if you can have her a little more attentive, a little more forward in the trot coming in. Keeping the leg on, so the leg is increasing in power between the pull and the jump. And then helping to keep her straight from jump to flower box. And again, I want you to count your strides. It could be a different number if her canter is bigger or smaller, or if she's on a little bit straighter or more crooked track, right? So your goal is to keep the same rhythm that you land in, provided you like your canter, and to ride as straight a track as possible. Squeezing leg, 1, 2. Good. Half the lead change. Okay, go straight. Ask for the lead change in the corner. Straight, straight, and outside leg. Okay, turn a circle. Open your inside rein. Squeeze her again with your outside leg. Good, you got it. Okay, Leo, and walk. I want you to adjust. Your stirrups up a hole for jumping. Okay, I can go down one more. Normally when I roll stirrups, I go one hole down from the top because rolling is usually, with most stirrups, the equivalent of going up 2 holes. But these holes are pretty small. So after we do the line, which you're going to do in the 9 strides, right? So you've done 1 to 9. Then we're going to do each diagonal fence. And those are riding single jumps, right? They're not related to anything. There's no stride count in between them that we're going to track. So you're landing off this, Getting your lead, getting the right. Make sure you like your canter and jump the gate. Then you're landing, getting your lead and getting your bend, counting, and riding to the next diagonal line. Or sorry, the next diagonal fence. The oxer. Right? So you're jumping the gate, going all the way around, and then coming back over the oxer. Oh. Well, I said they're not related, right? If you were doing that, that's very related, right? Like there would be 3 strides probably in between those. We're taking the long route. Okay. Still 9 strides with your leg on for straightness. What do you get? Okay. Thank you. Good. Look at your next fence. Rhythm count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nice. She jumped that beautifully. Oh dear, now we're lost. Holy Toledo.
Oh, whoops. I thought you went like right there and come back.
Oh. So you were doing your jump off before you did your first round.
Because I thought you said there.
Sorry, I said do both fences on the diagonals, right? So if we were going to do this, I would say jump that and then roll back around and jump this one, right? That's kind of a tight, you know, half circle and carry on. When you're jumping them on the diagonals, you just like a normal diagonal, you go through 2 corners, come across, go through 2 corners. Okay, we'll try that again. She jumped the gate beautifully. Nice and quiet with her knees up, nice and square. So start again right from the beginning of your course. Leg on. Straight 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep squeezing. Good. Thank you. Nice. Good canter, Leo. Keeping your hands carried up in front of you. Showing the left bend, right? Making sure she's listening. Good. And that time, Leo, what I loved there was you used a squeezing leg to communicate with her that time. Right? So I didn't see your leg come off and give her a kick. I saw you just close your leg. And she went, right? She was happy to go. Very good. Okay, nice pad for her, little walk break for her. And of course, it's really good practice for us to jump with no stirrups, so we're going to do that anyways. But I thought that was maybe a little bit mean to you at the very beginning of your course. So I held back. Off we go. We're going to do our same course again. So I've just made the jumps a little bit bigger.
No stirrups?
No, well, depends. Depends if you're on the correct posting diagonal. No, I'd like you to do this, especially because the jumps have gotten bigger. I'd like you to do it with your stirrups to start with. Okay, I just usually have a policy when people are on the wrong posting diagonal. I get them to drop their stirrups because it just makes people think about it more when every time they are on the wrong one, I have them do something like that that's so much work. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, need a little more energy, Leo.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1. Okay, we're gonna start again. Because that time, you would have actually been perfect. You would have been just fine, except you tried to steer with your hands, right? And when you went to steer with your hands, it took away some of your energy, right? Because you pulled on the right rein and she slowed down, okay? So that's where you need to keep your hands. I mean, your hands can do this a little bit. Like you can say, oh, we got to go over here, right? But you can't pull to turn or else your horse loses their engine. So that's a scenario where if you see that you need to get straighter, your hands can show her where to go and your legs have to push her there. Make sense? Push, not pull. We're going to start with the 9 again because she trotted in weak. She kind of heaved herself over, right? And then I thought you might actually get 10 because she was kind of cantering a little half asleep on you. So if you trot in a little more purposely, the 1 is better, then the 9 is better. Okay? We're just starting with our quarter line again and then both diagonals. So make sure your trot is purposeful. Marching trot. That's it. And the leg squeezes in. Good. Now think about your lead change. Keep your hands even. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. March away. Make sure she's awake here, Leo. And we need her straight and rhythmic. Right? Every step the same. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. She still needs a lot of practice jumping oxers. She still tends to jump straight up in the air over them. And I think that's partly a bit of a visual thing, right? She's got to wrap her mind around the idea of curving over the oxer. Right? She sees the width and she kind of hangs in the air. Good. Come catch the oxer again. Let's see how she copes with it the second time. Okay, so set the canter that you want, and then you're maintaining that canter to the jump. Is this the canter you want? Check in. Good. Now, keep it. Good. And she jumped in a little better shape that time. I would love it, Leo, if we could try to fit one more stride in before the jump. Yeah. So, you know, she's a big green and we like that she's honest and she will jump from that spot. But when you're setting her up, you want to be counting that rhythm. Make sure you're softly looking at the front rail. Okay, this is the thing with oxers as riders. We need to be careful that we don't get drawn to the back rail and then we end up thinking we should jump at the wrong spot. Okay, so when you come around, you're softly looking at the front rail. Do you know what I mean by softly?
Like barely?
Yeah, like
Wide angle.
like if you look at me, like look directly at my nose, right, and focus on it, that's not what you want to do at the jump, right? So now look at me but see everything around me. Do you know what I mean? So instead of focusing on the front rail, you're going to look at the front rail, but you're going to see everything else as well. So it's kind of that idea of you're keeping your peripheral vision there as well. And that prevents this, right, where the rider gets fixated and looking at the jump too strongly. Okay, so you're turning, you're looking at your front rail, and you're going to just try to keep the canter a little steadier. Okay, so that's just with your half halts, right? So you need to have enough impulsion. And then the half halt, remember, is when her hind legs are on the ground, right? So when she's here, I'm gonna count that beat for you. You're gonna half halt now, 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 now. Keeping going, and hopefully we get a little bit closer, which will encourage her to do this over the oxer as well. Right? When she jumps from back here, she's more inclined to do the flying squirrel, and we want her to get here and curve over it. Okay? All right, let's come do this again. So again, make sure you like your canter. I thought your last canter was good. When you picked it up, it was a little weak, but you fixed it by where Jake is now. You had the right canter, and then we're just gonna keep a little working half halt all the way to the jump. Hello, Linus.
Was he good yesterday?
He was good today. Okay, so I want to see you choosing the right canter, picking up the right canter. We're just jumping the diagonal oxer. Little more energy, that's right. So now you've got impulsion to work with. You're softly looking at the front rail. Now, 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 now. Beautiful. Good job, Leo. Get your lead. Good. So I absolutely loved your canter and loved your ride that time, and you got to a better distance. She still jumped up quite a bit, and I think part of that is that you're staying quite upright in your position. Okay? So to encourage her also to just kind of use her back and curl over the jump, you actually need to be a little lower in your 2-point. Okay? So your hands are going to be down beside the crest, your hips are going to be bent more so that your belly button is pointing to the front of the saddle. So show me that position now. What you're going to have over the oxer. Okay, so you wouldn't be sitting in your saddle though, right? So hips lower. Now almost touch the saddle with your seat and tip your pelvis down more. So your belly button is down, so that's the opposite. Tip your pelvis this way. Good, but look up. There. There. Okay? So there, shoulders, hips, and heels are still lined up. Okay? And you're just going to be able to close and follow her jump a little bit better. Okay? Because the hips have to be able to bend when the horse is jumping. Right? Or else the horse jumps and we open up like this and get pushed behind. Which, you know, in the 18th century was the way things were done. But we've modernized, right? And realized more about aerodynamics. Okay? So basically when the horse is curving over her jump, the rider should be on the same as the horse, right? Over the top of the jump, not over a tiny cross rail, because we don't really have time to get there and back up. But over a decent sized jump, you need to be with your horse's jump, and then as she's starting to land, you're starting to open up again to find your sitting position, to find your in between your fences position. Make sense? So come canter here, you're gonna ride the same way, and then you're gonna think about hands down, belly button down over your jump. Okay? And we don't want you to stand up, we want you to keep everything very bent. Okay? Hips, knees, and ankles bent. All right, I think I've given you enough to think about. Let's go try that. When you squeeze, does she go? If not, you've got your stick there to give her a little wake up, right? We were sitting and talking and she may have fallen asleep. Diagonal. Good. Now, 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 now. Yep, try not to kick her past your rhythm there, Leo. Good. Position was quite a bit better. Let's come try that again. Need to be just a little more patient, right? Keeping your quality of canter and not trying to get to the jump too quickly. If you have impulsion in your canter, you don't need to have speed, right? Good canter. Now support. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Much better. Good. Now, that was lovely, Leo. Now, we're gonna come again, and I liked your position in the air, but you just started to sit up too quickly. Okay? So now I want you to think about landing in your 2-point, and then stretching up in the next stride. Okay, so that your bum's not in the saddle until she's taken a stride away from the fence. Okay, and that's to make sure that you don't open up and lift your hands while she's still finishing her jump. Right? That's something that can actually create a rail as well. Right? Sometimes, actually quite often, the riders create the rails that come down, and that's one way you can do it actually, is if she's jumping an oxer and you sit up in the air, that's changing your balance, right? Which your weight affects her balance. Okay, ready? So you're gonna ride the same rhythm, same canter to your fence. Keep your hands low and your hips low and land in 2-point. Good canter. Stick with it. Now, 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 now. 2-point and sit up. Perfect. That was so much smoother, Leo. Could you feel that? Lovely. Okay, let's give her a good walk break. Good job. Really good adjustments there. Megan's a good one to watch too for position and for seeing how she gets to the jump, right? And that mare has a little more fire actually than your mare, right? You can see the real jumper excitement, but see how Megan's getting nice and close to the fence? She's sitting tall, but her hips still have some bend in them. Okay, keep her walking. So on our next course, we're gonna do our 1 stride, then a bending line to the gate. I want you to count your strides and tell me how many you get and resist the urge to kick. Okay, if you need to help her, you're gonna help her with a squeezing leg. Okay, so you're doing that, bending to the gate, turning left, and then coming back over the oxer towards the stalls. I saw a lot of kicking and not much squeezing. Let's trot across the diagonal. We're going to start again. Now, Leo, over these cross rails, I want to see you a little lower in your 2-point as well, okay? So practice here, the hands staying beside the neck and the belly button pointing down over each of these 2 jumps. And then you're going to stay anchored in your leg, belly button down. Nice squeezing leg and a beautiful position there. Good, coming for the oxer, rhythm count. Squeezing leg, good, awesome. What a good adjustment in your position. And I'd like, if I'm being picky, I'd like to just see your hands a little lower when you land. Good for you. So we're taking your very upright position and we're just shifting it into a tall position with a little more hip bend, right? And for a jumper rider, the hips are really important, right? You can't be stiff in your hips, especially over a big jump. Okay, and that's part of where I'm getting help to try to train myself to be more flexible as well. Okay, Leo, we're gonna do our same course again. Squeezing leg, low hips, low hands over the jumps.
I'm tired. Overtired.
Good.
Tired. You're tired? Tired. Pretty big for today.
Was that about other horses or was that about your leg?
I think that was about other horses.
Okay.
Probably Willow. Seems to kind of...
Yeah, she probably lights a few horses up, eh? She's got that energy. Squeezing leg. Okay, we're gonna start over, Leo. So we need to have her a little more awake after her walk break, right? And then you'll be able to feel like you can direct her with your squeezing leg, right? Because in here she was kind of side to side, not going forward, not covering the ground. So now you need to have her attention. Like, give her a spank right now if she didn't listen. Right? It's too late to play catch up when you're halfway between jump 1 and jump 2. She needs to be awake before jump 1. Just going to the gate there, Crystal. Squeezing leg, way better. Way better. Good job, Leo. Think about your bent hips over the jump. Good. Now we're going to come do our oxer one more time. Okay, you just got a little behind her again with your position. So think here about keeping some bend in your hips on the approach, keeping your lower leg back on her belly. Right? Because you want to be just above your heels with your hips. Yeah, look up, look up, look up. Don't look in the dirt. It's okay. Probably needed to circle there, right? Because she lost her canter, right? And it's really, you don't want to be charging at the jump. You need to have some rhythm. Okay. So reorganize quickly. Firm support, clear rhythm. Perfect. Stretch up, bend your hips. Good. Good. On trot transition, we're going to do that one more time. Just come and talk to me about your position. Just come in and talk about your position for a second. So what I'm noticing, what I'm just kind of realizing here as I'm trying to figure out exactly what's happening with your position, is you're a bit of a pinched bum, okay? So what I mean by that is your tailbone is kind of tucked down and then your butt cheeks are tight, okay? And what that does is it makes it really hard to keep everything bent and flexible, okay? So I want you to think about what that does if you pinch your butt cheeks together. See what that does to my feet? Okay? So right away what that does is it turns you so that your weight is more here. Use the camera here. So you're pinching your butt cheeks like this. So then your weight is more here than it is here, right? We need you to have your weight more on the insides, on the front of your thighs. Okay? So if your weight is on the front of your thighs, you're going to find it easier to keep your 2-point. When you're like this, the tendency is going to be to fall backwards. Okay? So what I noticed there is I'm like, okay, your bum's out of the saddle, but I'm seeing like all of this is still on the saddle when she's jumping, right? Needs to be more the front. Okay? Okay. Good. Try again. So the same canter. So you're going to think about your weight being more on the front of your thighs. Now I would trot and canter again and be ready to get very quick with your stick. And pooing is not a good enough excuse, okay? So ready and canter. Swift correction if needed. Make sure you're in the canter you want. Good, I agree. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, spank. Good, awesome. Awesome, Leo, good job. I'm thrilled with you there because that's probably the first time, at least in the lesson I've taught, that she's jumped a decent sized jump while pooing. And that's something that with her, she really gets sluggish when she goes to the bathroom. We call that a poop-induced half halt. Okay, so you had to ride a little stronger there, and I'm really happy that she didn't stop. Okay, because I was going to be so upset with her if she did. She could have used that as an excuse, but you were right on top of maintaining your energy level, and she didn't get a good chance to use that excuse. Okay, one more time, because you didn't quite get to work on the position we talked about that time because you were having to think about just keeping her going over the jump. Little more horse. Wakey, wakey. Good, I like it. Now think about your weight on the insides of your thighs. Yes, I love it. Thank you. Yes, Leo, good job. Weight on the insides of your thighs, the front of your thighs. Excellent. That looks so much better. What a big difference. Good for you. It's going to be a lot easier in that position to absorb the motion of the jump, right? In this position, the tendency is always to fall back, right? So then you're having to fight to maintain position instead of it just being natural. Okay, good, awesome. Good girl. That's one we have to keep remembering is about weight on the front of your thighs. That made a big difference.